Thank you, everybody, for coming. Good morning, everybody. So thank you for coming to our webinar this morning on managed services. My name is Mike Gonzalez. I'm going to be I oversee the product and marketing here at Cambay, and I'll be moderating the webinar today. So we're going to get things started with kind of an introduction, go over who's going to be speaking today, the agenda, and we'll go from there. Our goal is to provide some knowledge and insight into how MSPs or managed service providers like Cambay, can provide a higher level of efficiency around IT, as well as reduce the costs associated with IT. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to get started with the agenda. So to give a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. So first things first, we're going to be talking about how Cambay can be a powerful partner, who we are, what we do, what we provide, the services, everything that goes from top to bottom of our company. Next, we're going to talk about the solutions that can help transform, help to make the impact. Then we're going to be talking about service plans and the technology that's covered. Next, we'll talk about our delivery model and the value delivery framework that goes along with that. And finally, we'll be talking about the value adds that come from managed services and the providers that provide them. So as far as who's going to be speaking today, I introduced myself already, but we also have Adam Walworth, who's one of our sales account executives, as well as Nitesh Kumar, who is the Associate Vice President of Azure and Managed Services here at Cambay. So they're going to be leading us through most of the information today. If you have questions, we're going to leave time at the end for you guys to ask anything. So if you think of something as we're going through, feel free to write it down. You can put it in the chat and we'll reference it when we get a chance to do so. And again, we'll try and get through the information quickly and efficiently, make sure that we're able to provide that value to you guys. And then, like I said, we'll have those questions open at the end. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Adam for the first part right here. Adam, you can go ahead and do it.
Mike, thanks for the introduction, and thanks everybody for jumping on with us, spending some time this morning. Love to have you here. Just a bit about Cambay. So we are a Microsoft Solutions partner. We're based out of the Houston area. We've got offices across the U.S. and in India, and a lot of our team is on the technical side. So we've got a lot of deep knowledge across the Microsoft tech stack. As a company, we really value education and collaboration, and we really have a focus on our employees. And as you can see, that has earned us a couple of awards. We've been certified as a great place to work, and we've also been recognized as the most promising Microsoft solutions provider. And building relationships with our employees is a core value, but we also want to build value and build relationships with our clients. So we want to be that long-term partner. We have a deep expertise across the Microsoft tech stack. So we're in Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, Azure. We also have a very strong practice in the AI and data, and we can do a lot with business intelligence. Of course, today our focus is going to be on what we can do as a managed service partner. And with that, our team is head by Nitesh, he brings a lot of value with the team, a lot of expertise across his team. And we'll go ahead and let Nitesh take over from there and get right to it.
Thank you, Adam. So good morning and good evening, everyone. So I will be talking about managed services. So I would like to start with what we do on the name of managed services for our customers. So as part of our managed services, we offer services around Azure, Dynamics 365, and Microsoft 365. Because we are a 100% Microsoft shop, and we offer managed services around all these three technology areas. And each of our activity that we perform as part of managed services, we make sure that we are making an impact on the technology stack or on the overall business of the customer. So as part of our managed services, the very first thing we do is proactive monitoring and events remediation, because this helps us to detect any kind of outage at a very early stage and fix that before it can make an impact on the business of the customer. Besides that, while doing proactive monitoring, we are 100% application centric, because the end of any business organization is to make sure that their business applications or all IT applications are up and running all the time, because that is the entity used by an end IT user. Your servers and underlying infrastructure is up and running, but your application is not up and running with the expected level of performance or availability, then up and running or the uh, for high performance of your underlying infrastructure is good for nothing. That is our belief. And that's why while doing proactive monitoring, we are 100% application centric, even if we are not managing the application of the customer. That means even if we manage the infrastructure of a particular customer, we are extremely application focused. We make sure that we are monitoring applications from all perspectives so that we can detect any anomaly, any fault uh, in quite in advance. We have some tools in place that helps us to maintain observability on the performance of application as well as each and every piece of infrastructure. So that's what we do as part of our proactive monitoring and event remediation. Uh, we have a 24/7 up and running command center. They are the orchestrator and they make sure that entire managed service is doing the right job as per the processes, as per the SLAs and SLOs of managed service. And we call them support desks. The very third thing that we do on the name of managed service is proactive lifecycle management. As part of our managed service, we do not keep managing the technology stack or services of the customer the way we onboarded or in the form we onboarded. We also make sure all the time that the technology stack or the IT environment of a particular customer concern is up to date along with the changes in the IT marketplace. That means if a new technology is coming into IT marketplace or the existing one is moving towards retirement, we make sure that we are upgrading or transitioning the technology from the older one to the newer one with a mutual agreement with the customer so that uh, all of a sudden, a particular component of IT service or a particular feature of an application cannot stop working all of a sudden because of incompatibility issue. So that's why we pay lots and lots of attention on proactive lifecycle management of our customer. And we make sure that each and every service of the customer is up to date along with the changes or growth in the technology marketplace. The third thing we do is operations management. We believe that whatever is up and running today should be up and running tomorrow as well. And to make that happen, we do lots and lots of preventive maintenances and other activities to make sure that whatever is up and running, high performing, highly secure today can be tomorrow, day after, and next year as well. Whatever we do as part of our managed service, we are 100% compliant to our processes. And all our processes are modeled along ITIL standards. So this is a quick introduction of our managed services capability. And just in summary, I would like to emphasize that as part of our managed service, whatever we do, we always ask ourselves one question, that this particular activity is going to make an impact on the life of or the technology stack of or the overall business of a particular customer or not. If the answer is yes, we go ahead and do that activity. If the answer is no, we don't do. Having said that, let's move to the next part of the discussion, that is uh, how do we offer all these services to our customers? So whatever services or whatever activities I talked about, we have packaged it into multiple service plans. So we have service plan to offer managed services to customer, and each plan is focused on a particular technology area. So if you look at over here, we have a service plan that is focused on Windows and Linux server management, for database management, Active Directory management, network management, security management, M365 services management, D365 services management, and Azure Virtual Network, Virtual Desktop management. So for each of the technology area, we have a dedicated service plan. And as part of this service plan, we offer managed services to customers. So a customer has an option that they can as per their business requirements, they can choose all of these service plan or some of them or one of them. That's why we call it that our services are flexible, and it is covering almost all the technology area of an IT organization. And that these are the technology makes up the IT organization or the technology stack of a business organization. And we have a dedicated service plan to manage each of the technology areas. In continuation of this discussion, I would like to say that all these service plans are offered to customers under 3 service bands: silver, gold, and platinum. These service bands are nothing but categorization of the scope of services. So if customer go for silver, the scope will be limited. If they go for gold, it will be a bit wider. And if they go for platinum, it will be quite enhanced. All these services are offered as part of two types of delivery model. The first one is shared, another one is dedicated. As part of shared delivery model, a pool of resources will be working for a pool of customers. If customer wants to have a dedicated team, we can also make that happen. So as part of this one, we will be dedicating a group of resources that will be working for that particular customer as a dedicated team. They will not work for any other customer. So as per customer requirements, we will be positioning this team to serve the customer. The pricing model are of, again, two types. If customer goes for a shared delivery model, their pricing model will be fixed cost. And if customer wants to have dedicated delivery model, then it will be full-time employees cost-based price model we will be placing for the customer. So this is how we offer managed services to our customers. And we have made it very flexible so that it can suit the requirements of every side of business or every type of IT organization, no matter how big or small they are, because they can choose their managed services plan as per their requirement.
Very awesome information there, Nitesh. Thank you. I do have a question that I think help kind of give a little bit more clarity to people in general. You kind of mentioned talking about different IT industries, the different industries that use IT services, different types of business, different lines of business. How do you ensure consistency in that delivery across those different domains?
Yep. So I do agree, Mike, that we serve customers from different business domain and different size and scale of businesses. And to ensure consistency, we have a delivery model in place, and I would like to talk about it in the very next slide. So we have a delivery model in place, and we call it MDM, that is Managed Service Delivery Model. This delivery model is a 4-step or 4-phase methodology. And whenever we engage ourselves, or whenever we talk to a prospect customer, or whenever we manage an existing managed service customer, we make sure that the customer is moving through each of these phases. And the very first phase of this delivery model happens to be engage. The second phase is onboard. And the third phase is operate. And the fourth and the last phase is optimize. And a customer is keep moving through all these phases during their entire life cycle in the managed service. In my next slides, I will be talking about each of the phase, that what do we mean by it, and what are the things we do when a customer is positioned or when a customer is passing through each of the phase. So I would like to talk about the very first phase, that is engage. So as part of this phase, we emphasize a prospect customer or even the existing customer and try to understand their challenges or expectations. So whenever we come across a new prospect customer and start our managed services sales discussion, our first objective is to understand the pain points of the customer or the challenges of the customer. We try to understand the stated as well as non-stated challenges or expectations of customer concern. By stated means there are certain challenges that customers are aware, and they will tell you quite in a clear manner that these are their challenges. But there are certain challenges customers are not aware of, but they do exist in customer IT organization. And being a expert managed services provider, having tons of experience around Microsoft Cloud, we do we very easily figure out that there are certain challenges that are existing in IT organization and customers are not aware of it. So we draw the attention of customer towards those challenges and we make them aware that if they solve those challenges, what kind of value additions they will be getting out of their IT organization. Once we understand the stated as well as non-stated challenges of the customers or the expectations of the customer, we align our services to them. Because there are challenges and we have services to overcome those challenges. So we educate customers that these are your challenges can be overcome by using a particular service or group of services out of our managed services. We make customer realize the value of our IT services month on month. Whenever we are when we are done with a managed services contract and we serve customer, we start serving customer as per our managed services agreement. Every month we conduct a service review meeting, and during that meeting we make customer realize the value additions we are doing for the customer. So everything is number driven, and this way, every month customer realizes the value of our managed services and the value for the money that they are getting out of it. Last but not the least, as part of this phase, we always project ourselves as a technology business partner, not as a IT vendor. So as part of this phase, we always, whenever we talk to customer, whenever we do anything for the customer, we project ourselves as their technology business partner, not as an IT vendor. The next phase of our delivery model is on board. As part of this phase, we have lots and lots of discussion with customer just to have holistic understanding of their business. We do not keep ourselves limited when it comes to having the understanding of customer business organization. We try to understand the complete technology stack of the customer. We try to understand the complete business ecosystem of the customer so that we can articulate our service offering, we can articulate our delivery accordingly to add values to the technology area, to the business area of the customer concern. As part of those discussions, we get to know lots of knowledge, and we make sure that our knowledge base or our configuration management database is up to date so that during the later phases of delivery of managed services, we do not need to go back to customer again and again to cross-check something. During this particular phase, we educate customers of our people, processes, and tools. We educate customers that who are the people going to work for them, what are the processes we have, what tools we will be using for them. Besides that, we also notice some of the risks that are already existing in the IT environment of the customer, and the customers are not aware of it. So we draw customer attention right at the time of onboarding at managed services, saying that, Mr. Customer, these are the risks existing in your IT organization, and those are going to be our first priority as part of our managed service. The entire objective of this particular phase of delivery model is to equip ourselves to serve customer. The third phase of our delivery model is operate. In fact, this is the phase from where the actual delivery of managed services starts. So at this particular phase, we start delivering managed services as per our service level commitments or as per the commitments of our managed services agreement. And during this particular phase, we always try to play the role of a preventer. We don't like to get into a situation that all of a sudden an outage is happening and the customer business is getting impacted. We try to be very, very proactive by using our monitoring and observability capability. We have a very strong escalation management system in place, and that is automated. We do not want our customer to escalate anything. It doesn't mean that we want to restrict our customer not to raise their disappointment, but it means we do not want our customer to raise escalation. We have made our system smart enough to do the escalation on its own if the system realizes the delay in the resolution of a particular issue. Our ITSM tool is configured in such a way or built in such a way that a particular issue, if the tool realizes that is not moving at a right speed in a right direction, the tool is having the intelligence and smartness to do the first level of escalation. If the first level escalation managers are not doing the right thing, then it will automatically do the second level of escalation. That will go to the mid-level management. If the mid-level management is not doing anything, it will be going to the top level management. This is what we have built in our ITSM tool. And that's why I'm saying that we do not wait for a customer escalation. We do it much in advance in an automated way so that the right people can get attention to the issue and it can be solved before it disappoints the customer. Now I will be moving to the fourth and the last phase of our delivery model, that is optimize. And this is one of a very important stage of our managed services delivery model, because at this particular stage, we every quarter, at the end of every quarter, we look at the performance of the technology stack or the services of a particular customer concern. And we also look at the performance of our managed services team. And we try to get some actionable insights on the name of continual improvement. And this is our quarterly activity. So we make improvement along inside the technology stack of the customer concern and also within the technology stack of our managed services. That means we improve the services of customer IT organization, and we also improve our services based on our quarterly performance analysis. And utilizing this particular phase, we ensure continual improvement and continual improvement within our managed services organization as well. And this is a very important phase of our delivery model because this keeps the customer up to date along with the changes in IT marketplace. And this also helps us to eliminate many bottlenecks that exist in the technology stack of the customer or the IT services of the customer. And it also keeps our managed services evolving as per the changing technical world or the technology world. So this is what answer to your question is, Michael. We have a delivery model in place, and this delivery model helps us to ensure consistency across all our customers. No matter whom we are serving, we make sure each of our customer is transitioning from each phases, and they will be spinning across all these phases continuously across their managed service lifecycle.
Thank you for that, Nitesh. I do have a question from the chat that I want to bring up just because it is relevant, I believe, and it's a straightforward question. And then I have a few more after that. So, question from the chat from Debbie. If we were to use your MSP services for our infrastructure at contract termination, would we own the configurations? Should we decide to move IT back in-house at that termination of the contract, or what happens at that point at the end of the contract?
Yep. As I said, we never project ourselves as a IT vendor. We always project ourselves as a technology business partner. Due to some reason or the other, if customer wants to terminate the contract, so whatever we have built for the customer on the name of instrumentation, processes, or anything, we don't have any harm in handing it over back to customer.
Yeah, Debbie, you guys will own the configurations that are done at the end of that contract lifecycle, no matter the reason. Hope that answers the question. If you have any more, feel free to throw it in the chat. I do want to ask some things specific to the delivery model, Nitesh, specifically around like unique selling points. There's a lot of managed service providers out there. Most of them have delivery models. Could you talk to uniqueness and how we offer something different from other service providers?
Yeah, Mike. So I have been in this industry past 20 years, and past 10 years, I have been in leadership role. So this way, I know managed services market and our competition very well. Uh, One thing I notice is as part of our delivery model, the optimized phase is one of the USP that we have. Uh, what I have seen is most of the managed services provider, almost all of our competitors, uh, they keep managing the customer infrastructure or services the way they onboard it. They do not pay much of the attention to the optimization of the same. But we do not believe in that. We know that cloud as a technology is an evolving field. The customer business is also growing. On the other hand, the technology marketplace is also growing. New and new services are coming into the market. In such a fast changing world, if we keep things the way we onboarded just few months or few years back, all of a sudden we will have lots and lots of bottlenecks in front of us. We will realize that some of our IT components or services are not working because of some incompatibility issue, because we did not upgrade some of the services right in time. And we will have to get into a firefighting situation. To overcome such kind of challenges, we have this particular phase in our delivery model. And as part of this phase, what I said, at the end of every quarter, we look at the performance of the entire technology stack of a customer concern. And we also look at the performance of our managed services organization. And we derive some of the actionable insights out of it, and we translate it into a list of action items, and we make sure that each of the action item is closed while working very closely with the customer business organization. And whenever we do it, we keep a customer informed during each of the service review meeting every month that this is what we are doing against each of the improvement area. And this is how we keep our managed services up and running all the time, uh, evolving all the time, and we make sure our customer IT technology stack or services are also up to date as per their business needs or as per the evolution in the technology marketplace.
A lot of sense. In the same vein, moving along a little bit further down that line, we went over the delivery model. You gave us some good insight there. Typically, how do we ensure that the value add is there to the customer's business using the delivery model, using the things you've spoken about so far? Where does that value really come in?
All right, so Mike, my next slide is going to talk about it, and that is our value delivery framework. So we know delivering a service is one thing, but delivering value for the customer is another. So to make that happen, I mean, to add value to a customer business organization or IT organization, we have something called value delivery framework. So our value delivery framework consists of 6 spinning wheels, and each of these wheels are interconnected. So, and each of these wheels are spinning all the time, on a solid foundation of instrumentation and automation. So first 3 wheels, the spin of first 3 wheels helps us to be a preventer as a managed service provider. Having said that, I would like to explain that wheels like proactive monitoring, preventive maintenance, and lifecycle management. When we spin all these wheels continuously, month on month, quarter on quarter, and year, we happen to be a preventer for a IT organization to avoid any major outages or to avoid any surprise bottleneck. The last three, the fourth wheel helps us to meet the end objective of any IT organization. This is just to remind all of you that the end objective of any IT organization is to make sure that all the business applications or all the IT services are up and running at right availability with right level of performance and in a very, very secure manner. So as I said in the beginning of my presentation, that no matter what service we are managing for a particular customer, our focus remains on application. We always keep ourselves application centric. That means even if we are managing the servers of a particular customer, we do monitor application using some tools. We also ensure observability into the performance level of the application concerned so that we can make sure the application of a particular customer is working at right speed with right level of availability and with the expected level of security. So this is our objective. We know that as part of our managed services commitment, we cannot go ahead and fix the application related issue, but we believe that we can at least draw the attention of the customer. We can at least predict any kind of bottleneck within the application that may arise few months later or few weeks later. So this is what we mean by application centricity. The fifth wheel helps us to eliminate problems, eliminate issues out of customer technology stack or out of the customer IT organization. We as a managed service provider do not believe in solving the problems. We believe in elimination of the same. So we have a very strong problem management system. Even if any particular issue, no matter what is the severity of this issue, if it happens thrice, it is converted into a problem ticket. And we go to the root cause level of that problem and we fix it. The last wheel, that is SLA and KPIs compliance, help us to meet the expectations of the customer. Because as part of managed services commitment, customer expects resolution of issues in a timely manner. They expect services availability up to certain level or certain degree. They want certain information to be provided to them at certain time interval. And all these things are part of our SLAs and KPI compliance. So by spinning this particular wheel, we make sure that we are coming true on the expectations of the customer. And to keep all these six wheels moving forward, we have a very strong instrumentation and automation foundation. So all these six wheels are interconnected with each other. They keep moving in a progressive direction month on month. And there is a solid instrumentation and automation platform on which they run in a very, very smooth and seamless manner. And this is how we add values to our customer. Now, I would like to talk about the value additions. So these are the value additions we do for our customers. The very first is significant reduction in IT operations cost. As I said in the beginning that we have two delivery model. One is shared one, another one is dedicated one. So as part of shared delivery model, a pool of resources work for a pool of customers. So the resources, technology, and the processes happen to be shared one. And this way, the operational cost for a particular customer happens to be quite optimized or quite low compared to their own IT organization. Even in case of dedicated model, our delivery center or delivery staff are primarily located at India. So compared to US market, the cost of those dedicated resources happens to be very, very less. The second value addition we do is our 24/7 availability. We are always available for our customer. Whatever they ask for, we are here to help them out. Third value addition is everything is SLA driven. So we make sure that every issue or every service request of the customer is taken care of right in time within the SLA. The fourth value addition is our proactiveness. As I have been saying since beginning that we happen to be preventive. We want to position ourselves as a preventer. So, and to make that happen, we emphasize a lot on proactive monitoring. Lots and lots of focus is given on observability so that we can either detect any issue at a very early stage and fix it before it can hamper the services of the customer, or by observability, at least we can predict the issue at a very early stage at any layer of the technology stack of a customer. Root cause analysis, as I said, that we do not believe in the resolution of a problem. We believe in the elimination of the same. And for that, we have a very strong root cause problem management process in place. And that helps us to go to the root cause level of the problem and fix them forever. We also do lots and lots of preventive maintenance activities so that whatever is up and running today can be up and running tomorrow and day after and next month and next quarter and next year as well. So even if everything is working fine, we do execute some of the preventive maintenance activities on weekly, quarterly basis. The next value addition we do is Azure native instrumentation. Microsoft provides lots and lots of management and governance services. So we do some kind of customization-based instrumentation around that using those services so that our customers can be empowered enough to do some kind of governance activities on their own. Besides that, as Adam said, that we are a solution partner for most of the services of Microsoft. So this way, even if customer has not taken managed services for all the services area or all the technology area, but due to some reason or the other, one fine day, if they gets into a need of a particular technology area for which they have not opted for managed service, we will be in a position to help them out. We will not wait up agreement to be modified. Upon a customer request, we will make sure our resources are available to help the customer. So these are the value additions we do for our customer months on months.
Awesome. So I think that brings us pretty much to the end as far as information goes. We did want to open it up for questions. I know there was one asked earlier in the chat. You can ask either raising your hand. I believe teams, you can raise your hand on that. Most people should be able to do that, or you can throw it in the chat and I'll be happy to ask it to Nitesh and he can answer it as well. For a few minutes for a few people to ask if there's any out there. I do have a few other ones as well that came in previously, but I will leave it open for about a minute or two, see if we got anybody that has any questions pressing now. First, a few to come in. I do have some previous ones that were asked. So Nitesh, you're speaking a lot about keeping everything on the up and up, on the cutting edge, so to speak, as far as IT practices go, the solutions, the softwares you're using. In the same area as that, how do you guys typically maintain skill level as far as the team goes in regards to those consistent changes and to the progression of the IT world? How do you usually keep everybody up to speed as far as their skills go?
Yep. So Mike, we have made up our mind that we are living in a fast changing world, especially when it comes to cloud as a technology. So to survive and thrive in the managed services business, we have certain practices within managed services that we follow religiously. So the very first week of every quarter, we celebrate as an innovation week. So during that particular week, we do nothing. We just look at our services offering, our skill level, our capabilities, our processes, our tools and instrumentation. And we also look at the one that is available in the market, the one that has recently popped up in the market, the one that is about to come in the market. And we prepare a list of action items for us, that what are the things we need to adopt, what are the things we need to learn, what are the places where we need to change ourselves on the name of processes or way of working. And all those action items happens to be my action item for that particular quarter concern. And this way, we keep ourselves as skilled enough. So let's say a new particular service is launched in the Azure Marketplace or in Microsoft Cloud Marketplace, and we don't have capability for the same. So we start doing proof of concept around that services. This is our first step in order to learn that service. If the service is easy, it is easy to learn by our own. We try to do it by doing our POC, by doing some self-exploration, self-learning and all that. But if it is a complex one, we look for some e-learning courses and we try to do it by using that. If that is also not significant, we go ahead and secure required budget and conduct a external training by bringing a expert person from outside organization, because we have relationship with few of the training providers. They provide good trainers, good professional trainers to educate us up as and when needed. So this is how we keep ourselves skilled, so that whenever a customer asks for something, we should be in a position to cater to the needs of the customer.
I did have the question I missed in the Q&A section. I didn't think to check there before, so I apologize for that. There is a question for asking what is the SLA threshold for us for Cambay?
Yeah, as part of managed services, we offer two kind of service level commitments. One is SLA, that is primarily focused on communication part of it. That means whenever we receive an issue from customer IT environment by our monitoring tools or by our observability tool, at what time interval or how fast we first need to send an initial response to the customer, and at what time interval we need to keep customer communicated till the time the issue is not resolved. So we have a timeline in place. For example, if there is a critical severity issue, whether it is notified to us by our monitoring instrumentation or by customer, our initial response is 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes, we will be up and running with all the required people and all the required tools, and we will be on top of the issue. This is one of the SLA we have. We also commit some of the resolution SLAs, but we evaluate the technology aspects of the customer before making any resolution related commitments. And it also depends that whether we are going to own and manage the entire technology stack of the customer or part of it, right? That's why I say that first we evaluate and then we commit. Because if we are managing one part of the customer IT technology stack, but the major part is still managed by them, we cannot commit that this particular thing can be resolved. For example, users are not able to log into a particular business service or business application, and we are managing only the servers. Whereas the domain or the Active Directory or the DNS services are still managed by the customer or any other third party. So we cannot make a commitment that this particular issue will be resolved within this much time. However, at the time of negotiating managed services contract, we evaluate every aspect of customer service, and we do commit resolution time for severity for issues of different severities and priorities. So it varies from customer to customer, and it varies on the basis of customer technology stack. And we also consider what's going to be under our management and control and what will be under the control of any other service provider or even the IT organization of the customer concern.
I got one more question for you. So this one's more in regards to contracts we were talking about earlier. What do you guys typically do to make sure that contracts are renewed year over year without too many challenges coming along with it?
Okay, so whenever we get into an agreement for managed services with any customer, right in the beginning, we try to understand their stated as well as unstated expectations. Because as I said as part of my presentation, that there are certain challenges or issues customers are aware of, and they will tell you quite in a clear way that these are their challenges. But there are certain challenges they are not aware of. So we identify those challenges as well, and we draw the attention of customers not only towards those challenges, we also come up with some of the options as solutions. So this is one thing we do. We not only focus on stated expectations of the customer, we also draw the attention of customers towards their unstated expectations that do exist. And this way we add values to their IT organization and business overall. Besides that, we also focus a lot on the optimization part of our managed service. So at the end of every quarter, we analyze the performance of their technology stack, and we come out with some of the actionable insights that what we need to do to drive some continuous improvement. And this again generates values for the customer. The last thing is throughout the customer life cycle, as long as they are attached with our managed service, by having a valid managed services contract, we always work with them like a technology business partner, not like a vendor. Our intention is to add values to their business organizations so that our customer can grow and we can grow with them. Our intention is never to sell more services to them and extract money out of that. We have a saying within Cambay as part of our managed service offering that we own the IT organization of the customer so that customer can focus on their core business and we can run their IT show. That's what our belief is.
Awesome. All right, I think that covers it for all the questions. So those that want to learn a little bit more information or maybe have questions later, we will be sending out a follow-up to the webinar as well. Just a few questions on how the experience was, feedback, like I said, as well as give you an opportunity to have a further discussion with us if you're interested in managed services. On the screen as well, we have Adam's contact information. He is able to answer any questions, pull in whoever he needs to pull in, as well as get you started with managed services. So if you have anything along those lines, feel free to reach out. We do plan on trying to get consistent with these webinars in general, different topics, different needs. So if you have any feedback there, suggestions, things that you're interested in learning about, feel free to let us know as well. But I think that will do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.